everyone. Good morning. It's Christina from Christina's Art Corner. I'm doing part 2 of all of my completed pages since I started coloring. So let's go ahead and get started with Emmanuel Colin Coloriage Wild. This was some early coloring, if I recall. Let's see which one I did in here. Yes, it's this one here. Now I know I used some pan pastels and some pencils, and then I went over it with Mod Podge glitter. You can see it better this way. Not a whole lot of shading in the face. A little bit in the hair and leaves. But yeah, I think it turned out sweet overall. So I have some like pinky blues, not just straight blues in there. Let's see if I did any others. One part that bothers me is that the neck is just hanging out here in the air. I could probably draw a line to create the rest of the body. But let's see if there were any others. Yes, I did. This one is with watercolor paints and looks like a little bit of pencil. Again, not too much shading on her face. Purple hair, and then looks like I have some different color strokes for the flower, but that had watercolor underneath, and these flowers as well. Yeah, I think it turned out cute overall. This is a little bit, this light pink's a little bit displaced, but again, early coloring. You know, just testing things out and seeing what I like. So I think that might be the only 2 pages in this Coloriage Wild. I'd like to get some more done in there. Next one is Magic Jars from Coloring Heaven. And I had a hashtag for this, and we were doing several pages. So the first one here is my B page, and it's with alcohol marker. And then I used some, trying to think what I did use. I used a metallic watercolor for the wings, if you can see that. And I remember putting a little bit of lavender in the nest. That was something different than just using straight brown. And then I've got some Posca. And here is another one. I think this was the first one, one of the first ones we did. Again, alcohol marker, and then pencil for the rest, and also some metallic. I think this was the Uniball Signo. And then I made the rabbit look like my dog Shmoo, black and white. And I used some neon in the flowers inside these pink areas. And then let's see what else. We did this mermaid page last May. So I have alcohol markers predominantly, and then I have a bunch of metallics all over. So we've got the gold metallic. That looks like it might be a, it could be one of my dollar store gold glitter markers. Not sure. Been a while, it's been a year. And then we did this elephant page, and I used, I want to say that might be Neocolor 2s or just regular watercolor. And then I also used pencil, and I used some neons for the boots and the umbrella. I think she turned out really cute. Yeah, love that one. And that may be it. There were a couple I didn't get done towards the end of having to close out my hashtag just because life was getting too hectic at the time. But yeah, this is a great book, Magic Jars, Coloring Heaven. The next book is Camilla D'Erico, Pop Manga Dragons and Other Magically Mythical Creatures. And I did this one in pastels, pastel colors, but also pan pastels. And then I used a watercolor glitter shifting paint. And also there's some stickles in the bubbles. And on the tail, all along the wing. Yeah, I think it turned out cute. I obviously didn't do too much shading or anything, but I think it's all right for an earlier page. And then I did this one. This has Mod Podge glitter over, and it looks like I used, gosh, I'm not sure what I based it with, but I used a lot of different colors. I'm not sure I like the composition, but nonetheless, I also had some color shifting paints on the creature. See if you could see that right in through here. Yeah, it turned out all right. And then I did these two sets of dragons. This may have been last February that I did this. And I have Mod Podge over just the dragons. And definitely used water-based markers, I think, and also pencils. Not sure which brand of pencils, but yeah, it turned out cute. And that's it for Pop Manga Dragon. The next one is Pop Manga Beauties and Beasties by Camilla D'Erico. And I did, this has gold leaf on it, so it's even sticking a little bit to the wax paper. So I remember bits and pieces of this page, but I know that I did an acrylic purpley black background. I did the gold leaf here. This was not a pattern. I just created that with two different, it's three different gold leaves. It's the copper, silver, and gold. And then inside was colored pencil. And yeah, I just went wild with it. That might be the only one that I wound up doing in here. Let me check. Yeah, it's the only one. Beasties, Beauties and Beasties. And then Pop Manga coloring book, Camilla D'Erico. I did this one. I really struggled with this page. Obviously, watercolor. I love the watercolor background, but then I used watercolor on the face and then tried to go in with pencil, and it just was not working. I don't know what pencils I used. I also used watercolor as a base for the butterflies. If I'm honest, I don't really like how it turned out, especially the face. And I remember feeling like I went through the page a little bit. There's some metallic drips from her eyes and on the butterflies. But yeah, I think that might be the only one I did in there. And this was a gifted book to me. So that was Pop Manga coloring. Okay, the next one is Nadirna by Ria Dank. Love this book. It's very, very cool. And the one I did was this one. I love this. I did alcohol marker gradient in the background. And then I just used a bunch of metallic markers and metallic paints and glitter pens. This was just so much fun. I also have black glaze pens. I love these kinds of pages. They're so therapeutic. Just nice to put color on paper. Use up those gel pens. And that's the only one that I've done so far in Nadirna. That's a newer book for me. And then Colors of Daydreams by Nicolette Delafray. I did this page. Now, right when I got this book, the illustrator had sent me this book. So 2022, that was the beginning of my coloring journey, which is why I feel like this page needs some help. I did have a metallic background here, but it wound up being splotchy, and it was an off-brand. There's some pencil in here, but things got really blurred out. It's covered with Mod Podge glitter. I do see some pencil in here, but I was not in my shadow or highlighting era yet. And so, yeah, it's okay, but it's not great. And I do really love this book. I want to get back into it with some of my new techniques that I use. But yeah, that's Color of Daydreams. And then we have Diane DeFore, the teddy bear book. And let's see here. I did this one here, and nicely I wrote down what I used. I used Karron brush markers in the backgrounds area, then Prismacolor pencils, polychromos, folk art glitter, fluorescent markers, Ohuhu glitter, and markers and stickles. And you can see I have a lot of stickles for the snow. Yeah, this one was a great one to do. I think that might have been it for this one. Yeah. Boules de pois. I have quite a few here. Let's see, let's go from the back. Now I do have a whip in here. This I was doing when on my last visit to my dad, who has since passed away, and so I didn't wind up finishing it. I'd like to go back and finish that at some point. And this was, I think, the first page I did in this book. I have pencils, watercolor base, and also some glitter and Posca, glaze pen, and I made the dog like Shmoo. And then this one I showed you all is a whip for me. This was just last month. And I used Caran d'Ache gouache, which I have not hauled for you all yet, Renaissance metallic watercolors, sparkling magical watercolors, Gansai Tambi starry metallic watercolors, and the Transin white acrylic marker. And so I just have to color the lamb. And I was kind of stuck on what color I wanted to use for the lamb, if I wanted to go more fantasy or straightforward. Still deciding. And then here's my otter page. I use Neocolor 2s predominantly, and then pencil on top. Some polychromos I believe I used. Yeah. Turned out so sweet. And then this one is an altered page. This had a bunch of flowers here at the bottom, and I just blocked them out with the acrylic background. And then I used polychromo and Prismacolor pencils for these, and then I created the planets. And that was with acrylic marker. The next one, this was a liking to my dog who has since passed, London. And I did a sunset background. And I believe I used Neocolor 2s for that. And then pencils for the rest. And a little glaze pen for the nose. No glitter. Also use glaze pen on the butterflies. And then also did this page here. I have pan pastel in the background. And then pencils. Not sure which ones I used. And then I have some metallic on here as well. So it's super sweet. I love the little mouse here. And then this one was the bathtub page. I love how this one turned out. This was majority done with Neocolor 2s and then pencils. I love how the bubbles turned out. I probably could have done more shading to her legs, but I did not. And then this one here, I used the new Ohuhu pencils, ink tints for the background, and Funzel's white acrylic markers. And that's it in Boules de Bois. Next ones are Joshua Dunbar, the small pocket-sized book, Valentine Cuties. I think I did a couple of these, or one with my granddaughter. Here we go. Strictly pencil and some metallic glittery. I think these were the Spectrum Noir flip markers. Just very basic. Yeah, that's the one we did together in Valentine's Cuties. And I didn't pull that one out this Valentine, so I didn't get an extra page. Then Halloween Cuties by Joshua Dunbar. Do you think this was also buddy colors with my granddaughter? Whatever is colored in here was with her. And I had some picked out. Let's see here. We did this crocodile page, alcohol markers, strictly alcohol markers it looks like. And then this page here, Whispering Woods, alcohol markers and silver glitter on the ghosts, and this rock here, and on the mushrooms. And then I have a metallic flip marker in this bluey teal color to outline the background area. And this fun page here, this pumpkin guy, this is alcohol marker. Pretty strictly, I didn't use any pencil on this page. So yeah, these are fun books to have for those holidays. And then in Fairy Fuzz, cute and cozy coloring book. This is by Anna Amelia. And that's an Untouched book that I wound up putting in here. Is that what I've done? Oh no, I did the first page. This was, I think, with the new Ohuhu alcohol markers, yes. And then there's some metallic on the strawberries and in the flowers. And the wings have Spectrum Noir sparkle on them. Just a cute, fun page to show the new Ohuhu Supreme Brush alcohol markers. Yeah, fun page. In Flower Escape in Paradise by Maggie Enterios. Remember the page I did in here, I was using the Arteza like botanical set that was curated for this book. And yeah, I think I did a pretty good job on the chameleon. I don't have too much shadowing in the leaves and whatnot, but yeah, I like how it turned out, even though that's not the case. I did some shading here. When did this book come out? 2023, yeah. So more new to my coloring, but I do have some sparkle in his eye and a little bit in the flowers, some gold, if you can see that. I think that's the only one that I did in here. Need to revisit Flowerscape. And then in Selena Fennick, the Fadorables, pocket size, cute and fancy. I did this page. This was a buddy color with Becca, and just quite simple. Had some alcohol marker, little elves, had some neon markers here. Yeah, just a fun page to do. Put color to paper. And I think that was the only one that I did out of that book here. And then Magical Season, it's a semi-grayscale book by Lenka Filinenko. And in this book, I think I only have one done, but that's this Christmas page here. And I used some alcohol marker for the sky, and then the rest is pencil and stickles. I love how this one turned out. Super cute. I know I used a really waxy pencil, but I'm not sure which ones I used. Again, not much, tons of shading or anything, so this was earlier coloring for me, but fun nonetheless. Yeah, that was the only one in here. Let me get more books. After we're done with these books, then we'll be done with bookshelf 1, and then I'll go on to my part 3 on the second shelf. So now we have Alexandra Franzese, the travel size magical chibis. My granddaughter and I worked out of here. Here's some of my swatches. Okay, so we did this page here. Got my alcohol markers, and then I used some metallics. Now with her, I would usually just use strictly alcohol markers, and that's what she would use. And then we had metallic pens. So they're silver in quite a few places. These pages are just so cute. And didn't do a background. And we did this page here. And I know I had a mess up on the face, so I had to try to go in and fix that a little bit. I think I used pencil to go over the alcohol marker. I love her dress. I have a pink metallic flip marker in there, and also in the fire. Yeah, cute, cute. Straightforward coloring. And this one I did in colored pencils, but I did the sun, an alcohol marker, and looks like I had, see, the metallic is what bled through here. Yeah, not the greatest pencil work, but fun glitter on there. Yeah, it is fun to look back on older illustrations colored. This one I really do love. I did alcohol marker, and then I have a lot of different glitter markers here in the butterflies and on her shirt and shoes and the wand. I love how she turned out. And then I challenged myself to do an all blues page, monochromatic. So this is a bunch of different blue pencils. I had a lot of fun doing that. And then, let's see, we did this one. This one is really cute. It's all alcohol markers. What did I use? Yeah. And then I accidentally bled through this page. Must not have had my plastic there for a bit. I love her hair and her outfit. I love everything about this page. Again, just straightforward alcohol marker coloring. And then this one also have this purple background. I think I did a little bit of shading, not too much. No glitter on this page. And we did this one here. Alcohol marker with metallics. And all these areas here. And on her belt and on her outfit. I wound up not putting any color in her eyes, and my granddaughter was like, "Grammy, you forgot the eyes." I did. And this one is really sweet. I like this one. This one has more shading on the girl. And I love her hat. And there's some metallics and quite a few elements. There's the alcohol marker. Yeah, so that was quite a few pages in Magical Chibis with my granddaughter. And then Kawaii coloring book by Alexandra Franzese as well. And I did this page, and I used Mod Podge glitter over the whole foreground image, and then I have metallic flip markers all throughout, and a black alcohol marker background. And I think I did have some pencil work on some of the characters, but not a whole lot. And then I made it like the glass was cracked and all these characters were going to be able to get out. That was not in there. I just used Posca and used my finger to kind of blend it out so you could still see the characters underneath. And that's the only one in there. And then Winter Chibis by Alexandra Franzese, a regular sized book. And I did this one with my granddaughter. straight alcohol marker with some Spectrum Noir glitter. Actually, that might be stickles too on a couple of them, on the cookies. And then did this one, alcohol markers. I love how this one turned out. This was different for me. Really bright pinks and blues for the ski slope. And then this was my homemade glitter glue that I made, that I used for the helmet. And of course, lots of Posca acrylic. Yeah, I love how that one turned out. And then my granddaughter and I did this one. This one is so sweet. And I have a shimmer on here to reflect from the snow. This cute little dog has a little bit of glitter on him too. And she's got glitter on her hat and her earmuffs and her outfit and the sleigh. And of course, Posca white acrylic, excuse me. And that's it in Winter Chibis. Okay, Enchanted Christmas by Creative Haven, Teresa Goodridge. I think I probably only have one in here. Yeah, it's this one, and the page tore out. But this one was alcohol markers. And then I have Nouveau Drops in the fairy wings and some glitter and some Mod Podge over the moon. And then I have some stickles in the tree area and in the hearts from the birds. Yeah, I would have loved to have more shading on her dress since I did that on this one. But yeah, it's still cute. So that's the only one I've done in Enchanted Christmas. And then Gnome Sweet Gnome by Teresa Goodridge. And I know Meg's Coloring in Corner and I think did a page out of here at some point. Yes, it was this page here. And this one has alcohol marker. What else can I see on here? I see a glaze pen and my homemade glitter glue for the water, and then Posca over. A little bit of pencil work, not a whole lot. And some metallic in the gnome's outfits. And then the bird has a glaze pen eye and also some Spectrum Noir sparkle. Yeah, it turned out nice, and that was the only one that I got done out of Gnome Sweet Gnome. And then Sea of Colors, Angela Gonzalez. I was a part of the hashtag AC season Sea of Colors by Amanda Colors. And let's just see here. Got this page done, alcohol marker, and I actually used some stickers here. And then I've got some Spectrum Noir sparkle over in this area on all the shells, I believe. And also there's metallic on the octopus. Yeah, fun page. I was gonna say, I remember doing a snail. And here's a cute one. This one I used all pencil. And also some Spectrum Noir sparkle over a good portion of it, some metallic markers. I love this one. I love how this one turned out. And I think that's the only two that I got done out of there, yeah. Yeah, two of those and Sea of Colors. And then my Fanciful Folk Art book by Carla Gerard. Remember getting this book off of eBay. And I love folk art books. And this is the one that I did. And I have some alcohol marker in here. but it's mostly pencil otherwise. And metallic flip markers all throughout, or the Pentel hybrids. This was a really, really fun page and relaxing to do. I love how the blues turned out and the houses, everything. Really, really sweet page. But yeah, this is a great book. Lots of fun illustrations to color. Fanciful Folk Art by Carla Gerard. And then I just got this book, I'd say last year, Love Monsters. I did this page here, alcohol marker predominantly. I'll see all the different colors I used in the bubbles. And look how cute this turned out. And then I have the silver metallic on the bubbles and on the faucet and here on the towel bars and on the soap. Yeah, look how cute. Love it. And this one, I know I had a couple of struggles with, but I did do, let me show you, alcohol marker, and then over it I used some metallic paints and also some Mod Podge glitter on the monster and on this little note area here, Sakura glaze pen on the feet, this lamp, and then down here on the painting I have a bunch of different metallic glitters. And on his painting cup, there's glaze pen on their feet too, and some Posca. Super fun page. Then I started this and didn't finish it, but I was liking this fuchsia and purple and black background. I just didn't get around to finishing. And that's Love Monsters, and that is by Gideon Publishing. Then in R.J. Hampson, A Frog's Tale, I did this page with dusty coloring. And this has some alcohol marker and pencil. So I have alcohol marker behind the glass and then some metallic in a lot of these areas here. I'll just tip it so you can see. I love how the rug turned out. And these little tadpoles, it's cute. That was with some Posca. I love their outfits. This was a really fun page to do. And did I do any others in here? I think I did one more, maybe. Yes, so did this one here. And I have some alcohol marker as a base. And then colored pencils. And some metallic glitter on the fish and in the water. Pretty much all throughout the page I've got some glitter aspects. And I like the color palette on this page. There's lots of fun. Did get some crinkling of the paper, but that's okay. I don't mind texture. And then I did this one. And I know the water in the sky was done with alcohol marker and the rest is pencils. And I love how this one turned out as well. I love the trees and the grass, the tree trunk, the leaves, okay. And I love his outfit. I probably could have done better on the water breaking against the, like the, what do you call it? The lake bank. But yeah, went wild with the Posca. It's still cute anyway. And that is A Frog's Tale. And then in this book here, Mystical Cats in Secret Places. And this was a buddy color with Kits and Caboodles and Poet Spice. And it looks like I had some bleed through of whatever I used underneath, and then I used gold over. And yeah, I wouldn't say this is my greatest work. There was a lot of pencil work. Not a tremendous amount of proper shadowing in the background here. But there's metallic in the water sections here. And some gold glitter, some glitter on the cat's eyes. And also metallic bronze. That's the Uniball, Signum Uniball. Yeah, it turned out all right, but it looks like whatever I was using here might have been a water-based marker, because that doesn't, or it could have been watercolor. Either way, I decided to go over it because I didn't like how it turned out. But yeah, I think that's the only one I did in this book. It's a very detailed book, but it's cats if you love cats. This was 2016. That's when this was published. Mystical Cats in Secret Places, and it's by Honowell. And then in Fanciful Dogs in Secret Places, also by Honowell, I did this page with a palette, Sarah Renee Clark, number 121. And I have here my alcohol markers. I used a Cali Art as well. And let's see here, what else did I use? Prismacolor, Stickles, Posca White, White Gesso, Spectrum Noir Metallic Flip Marker, Sakura Glaze Pen, Stickles Stardust, Jelly Roll Silver, Posca Yellow, Super Golden Marker. I do love how this page turned out, and I likened it to my dog Shmoo. He doesn't have this much brown on him, but for the sake of the illustration, I wanted to color in some brown to break up just the black and white. And then I have all the glitter and the flames on the candle, glaze pen around the bones. The yellow Posca is here, metallic throughout the sofa or blanket. And this was a fun page. I love the milk bottle and the bubbles, excuse me, down at the bottom. Yeah, real fun page to do. And love that. It reminds me of Shmoo, my doggy. And that's the only one I've done so far in this book here, Beautiful Dogs in Secret Places. And then in Cutie Dolls 2, I've actually shown you all these already in my PDF pages. I think I had one more I left in here. This is by Unia Nachmedinova. It's Genovia Art. And yeah, I did this page a long time ago. But she's cute. I've got some alcohol marker on the face, and then the rest is pencil. And I've got a bunch of glitter on here. I'm not sure what kind I used. It's kind of a messy application though. I remember struggling with the hair because I wound up putting some metallic in there and then tried to cover it with more black pencil. I don't know that it turned out too great, but it's cute overall. She's a cutie doll, so her dress is cute. Those purple and oranges were definitely a choice. But that's Cutie Dolls too. And then in my Sockworms book, Dark Fantasy, Emily Jarridge is the illustrator. I remember doing some for Mermaid a couple years ago. This is one here. This has watercolor, metallic, watercolor. Yeah, the whole thing is watercolor now that I feel it. And then a little bit of pencil work. And then I have Nuvo drops here and my Stickles. I also think some of this was my homemade glitter glue, but I could be wrong. It could just be the Stickles I had. It's hard to tell now. There's a metallic marker for her spots. And I love the bubbles. Got some Posca on there. And then I did this one as well. And this one has alcohol marker and also has some Stickles in her hair and on her outfit. Just a fun page to do. That skin tone's a little rough, but I like it nonetheless. And was that the only two in here? Let me just, the paper is so thick in this book, it's amazing. Yeah. And that's Sockworms. And then I have another Sockworms. This is the 2017 fantasy characters. And let's see what I did out of here. Yeah, this one was an earlier one for sure. I can kind of tell when I have full Mod Podge on a page. It was an earlier one. So I have some alcohol markers and watercolors as a base. Some pencil work, not too much shading though, a little bit. And yeah, that Mod Podge Extreme Glitter I think is on here. It's a cute page overall. I like it. There's not too many that I'm, you know, too critical of. Just that I know now I would do them differently. Well, can I get the cover there? Just gonna try to see if I did any more in here. Yeah, I did this one. I'd say this one is probably my least favorite of the sockworms that I've done. I struggled with the face and the hair, but she's got some alcohol marker and then watercolor. I remember she was lots of fun to do. I would just do it differently now, that's all. But yeah, that's that one. I think those are the only ones that I did out of here. Yes. So that's Sockworms by Emily Jarridge. And then in the Micah Jelena Steampunk Artist Edition, I did this page. Now this was a grayscale page, which I really prefer to do an alcohol base now, but I used all pencils. And it's okay, it's okay. I know I did some experimenting with my pencils, but again, skin tone wasn't so great. I'm even out of the lines on the eyes. But overall, it looks good. Let's see here. I don't think I did another one in here. For some reason, I feel like saving my good paper books. And this is one of them. Got this one off of Etsy a long time ago. And then Christine Karron Fairy and Fantasy line art coloring book. I did a couple out of here. I did this one. I have alcohol marker for the face and hair. And then the background, I think I did an ink. Yes. I did a distress ink. And then some glitter and glossy accents on the eyes. Yeah. Turned out all right. Some Posca dotting. And then this one here, I did an alcohol marker base for some of it. And then all of the hair and on top of the face is different shades of color. This was out of my comfort zone, but I really like how it turned out. And no glitter on this page. Just strictly pencil. Yeah, she was lots of fun to do. And that's it for Fairy and Fantasy. And then Fairies 3 Grayscale, Christine Karron. What did I do in here? This one, I know this one was an earlier one for sure. Because that looks like a hot mess. Yep. Was definitely struggling with skin in those early days. But it's a finished page. This one too. These were done around the same time. Alcohol marker. No pencil. Let's see here. Yeah. No glitter either. Just Posca. And that's it for Fairies 3. And then this is the last book on the shelf. Fairy and Fantasy 3, Christine Karron. Let's see what I did in this one. So I have alcohol marker on this whole thing, and I remember getting frustrated because I bled through. She's got like pink eyeballs because the purple, some of it went in there, and then I tried to correct. And I've got some glitter here. Yeah, not the greatest job. but it's a finished page. That is it for my first shelf and my completed pages, and then I have 2 more shelves to go. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my earlier colorings, some recent ones thrown in there. I look forward to getting into the second shelf. There's a lot of books that I really enjoy in there. So until I see you next time, happy coloring to you. Happy June. I hope it's a wonderful coloring month for you and that all things are good in health and family. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.